On air? We're on air, finally. Jesus Christ, after many a soul searching experience, we are finally on air. And I wish my TV remote's all over there and I can't mute the bloody PS4. So, what I'm going to do, hopefully, it doesn't mess up my fucking recording of this. I mean, you never know with technology, but I'm going to turn it off. Anyway, okay, so before we even get started with this week's actual Raw review, I've got my notes here. Let me just tell you two things, a couple of bits of breaking news, broken news. It's already been broken for those of you that are unaware. But Adam Rose of the Social Outcast, the Radical Mongoose, has indeed been quite radical. He has got suspended for 60 days for his second violation of the WWE wellness policy. I didn't even know he violated it once. You gotta assume that with Adam Rose, like, with Adam Rose as he is right now, he might just get flat released come early June, mid June, maybe earliest, like early July at the latest, is normally when they do their round of budget cuts with the post Mania blues. So I could really see Adam Rose getting canned. I mean, Connor from the Ascension got suspended as well. I think that is also for 60 days, but nonetheless, that is exactly how that went down. And literally, what can you say? Don't take drugs, man. It's foolish. I mean, to be fair, we don't know what it's for yet. Maybe I'm just assuming, but come on, man. It's incidents like this that allow people like, I remember a few years ago, that stupid Nancy Grace to just jump on the fucking anti-wrestling bandwagon and just literally like be like, oh yes, wrestling, ha ha, steroids, etc., which is not the truth in any case or in any stretch of the imagination. Now, the second thing is that Raw was weird this week for, two reasons in itself. This is a two-parter. One thing I didn't notice is that I will mention, like, later on, maybe not, but I will definitely mention it now at least, is that Roman Reigns' crowd reaction was edited. And you're probably saying to me, but they do Raw live. How do they manage that? Well, no, because last week's Raw, or this week's Raw, depending on how you look at it, was filmed or was in London, England, in the O2 Arena. And, between when it finishes over here, which is like at 11 p.m. UK time, be which would be 6 p.m. USA time, right? Somewhere along there. WWE then have 2 hours to manipulate Raw in how they see fit until the normal 1 a.m. start time over here, and the 8 p.m. 8 p.m. American time, Pacific, Eastern. I don't know what all that is, but you know, regardless, like they had hours to mess with it, and they certainly messed with like some of the crowd reactions. I mean, you could tell it was the same piped in bullshit that you hear on SmackDown. Not that many people do watch SmackDown, but it's just like that, and it's a shame, really, because London, like English, European fans, are one of the most raucous crowds, which is why, you'd find the post WrestleMania Raw being good most of the time. But saying that though, this Raw did seem a bit flat to me. I don't know. That's just the impression I got from it. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to take a look at my notes, and we will get down into breaking down exactly what happened with Raw. So Raw kicked off with another edition of the Ambrose Asylum. Dean Ambrose brings out Shane McMahon and says he brought a clip with him. They show the footage basically of Shane McMahon jumping off the Hell in a Cell. Uh, you know, it's crazy that they just keep bringing this up, and I will say why. Like at the end of this little mini segment. But it's not good, bruv. It's just crazy. But I don't know. Shane McMahon then goes to say on while he's in charge and stuff like that. Various people will be given a chance, like AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Sasha Banks. That's another problem in my opinion, but we'll get to that after the the end of this mini segment. So Kevin Owens interrupts Shane McMahon right at one point, and I can sense that they're kind of building to like a feud between these two. I don't know whether that's just like my wishful thinking or whether that's actually something that is going to happen. And basically, Kevin Owens just says he's another McMahon who's crazy with power, mad with power, and that was pretty much that. Shane McMahon said that he had to throw out Kevin Owens because he didn't want him costing Sami Zayn another title match. Seems fair enough. Owens pissed off, man. I could tell this is legitimate beef between these two. Both men are doing a good job at displaying that. Out comes Sami Zayn, and he tells Owens that I was in WWE before you, blah blah. Then Chris Jericho comes out, and you could sense now it's going to be Jericho versus Ambrose, and it's going to be the two Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, which arguably should have been at WrestleMania. Ironically, Shane then announces these two matches, so in fact it will be Jericho versus Ambrose at Payback in a feud that's arguably been building since Night of Champions last year, and bloody Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Okay, so before we move on to the next, little, I want to say, I don't know if I want to say segment or whatnot, but I just want to make it perfectly clear, right? And I am, you know, I'm gonna lay it all on the line for you, right? All of this, remember, is my opinion, right? I just want to make that perfectly clear. It's all my opinion. I'm not telling anyone to share my opinion. I'm not asking anyone to share my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion, cold and hard, right? For starters, the Shane McMahon Undertaker WrestleMania match was mental, but it seems like there was no point in doing it now, all things considered. As you could probably tell, look at me, man. I look scruffy as fuck. It is hard to stay up until fucking 4 a.m. watching a show and then like fuck oh mate and then doing a review the next day. Look, I've even got sleep in my eyes. I don't know if you can see that. Look, I've even got sleep in my eyes. It's just crazy just to be insulted like this. Second of all, they go on to say, oh, well, I'm Shane McMahon. Sasha Banks will get given a chance. Sami Zayn will get given a chance. AJ Styles will get given a chance. Well, no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Shane. I don't know if you've noticed, but Sasha Banks was in a WrestleMania match for the women's title, arguably the highest place, bar winning the title, that a woman can get in her career. AJ Styles competed at WrestleMania in a very good match against a very decent veteran in Jericho. Again, I don't know how much better you can get. It's foolish. And who else did he say? He said Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was competing for a title against fucking Kevin Owens and a few others, but regardless to say, it's silly, And these matches that are now being made for Payback would really have been greater served for WrestleMania. Absolutely no doubt about it. The seeds were even sowed for a few of them at the Royal Rumble. And then they just seem to back out. Like Lesnar versus the Wyatts, Ambrose versus Jericho, Owens versus bloody fucking Zayn. Like, they all just seem to back out. Nonetheless, we come back from the commercial break and we have got Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn, which was a decent surprise. It was a good match. It was a really good match. A few crazy spots like some springboards and drop kicks and bloody hell. Like, suplexes on the outside. It was basically all good, man. It was just nuts. The ending came when basically when basically Sami Zayn called for the haluva kick, and apparently Jericho pokes him in the eye, hits the code breaker, and it's over. Now, I don't know if they're trying to make Jericho be presented as a threat here, but I really, I don't see. Oh God! And it kills me. I'm not yawning because I'm bored of you guys, but I'm not gonna hide how I feel. Like, I'm not one of these YouTubers to edit every single little thing. If I yawn because I'm bored during a video, then you most likely know the content that I'm reviewing is bored. Either that, or I'm staying up fucking God knows how late to actually bring it to you. But nonetheless, backstage we see AJ Styles who's being interviewed. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows interview him, yeah, right? And we learned that AJ Styles brought them both to the WWE, and they walk off and talk about the good old days. So that is definitely something to watch. After that, we get the tag team title number one contender tournament. Enzo and Cass versus the Dudley Boys. Really, there is only one winner here. Thank God it was the way that I wanted it to be. Thank God Enzo and Cass, they did win with the rocket launcher, and it was pretty damn good, man. Like these guys, in terms of wrestling ability, okay, I don't think they're anything special, but it has to be said. Like it really has to be said. I think there's something good. Like, I really do. I think they're over. They know their act, which is what I could say about very few wrestling personalities these days. Everyone's either trying to be a cool heel or a defiant babyface. There's no one arguably other than Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens for that matter, that knows their role with, you know what I mean? No pun intended. But everyone's if you look, if you look at people throughout the roster, WWE roster, you'll see like that like it's just silly really, and there's not a lot of drive, passion, determination throughout the whole of the roster, but only a very few people know their role well, and Enzo and Cass are one of them. I like them, I really do. I wish them all the greatest success in their careers because they are something awesome. They really are. Enzo and Cass, here's hoping you do fucking well, but they are into the finals of the WWE Tag Team Title Tournament, which in it of itself is fucking awesome because it's good to see a team from NXT. So next we get Roman Reigns who comes to the ring. Okay, look, I'm not a good guy. I'm not the bad guy. I'm just the fuck off Roman. I don't need to hear it. And this is what I was angry about before, right? They doctored the fucking the fucking reaction for Roman Reigns. If you need to go through the point where you're having to edit your number one baby faces fucking entrance every week before every SmackDown and the odd Raw, the odd pre-recorded Raw, then something is not right. This is what you do. You just bring back Seth Rollins as soon, well, not as soon as he can, because I don't want him getting injured again, but you just bring him back and hope that you turn him face and you just let the natural mechanics work. Right? Then AJ Styles comes out after Roman's bloody bullshitting. He says he's been a champion everywhere he's been, and it will be the fight of his life. And AJ Styles, basically, he gives off the vibe of someone that wants the title. Nonetheless, Bullet Club run the ring and attack Roman Reigns with a toned down finisher, which is now sad. I don't like that. It's good they call it the boot of something. I don't know, but it's not as good as the one they did last week. I think that one was called Black Magic, but nonetheless, they attack Gallows and Anderson attack Roman Reigns, and thank God. Styles, though, however, it must be noted, didn't notice what was happening until it was all set and done. After the commercial break, we see Reigns walking up, and he's like, AJ, oh AJ, did you know about that, dude? What's going on? AJ Styles, of course, says he has no idea, and Reigns tells Styles, I don't believe you, man. After this, we get Baron Corbin versus Fandango in what essentially is, you know, a fucking squash match. The notable thing, however, to note after this is that Baron Corbin seemed to, really be pushed. And I don't know enough about Baron Corbin yet to pass judgment. I do know, however, that at the moment, in spite of all their stupidities and loser antics, WWE currently, and this is what I will say, they currently are booking their roster strong enough, if you will, to actually be considered something decent. I mean, not only that, but after the match, Baron Corbin, he destroyed Ziggler. That's a former world champion, basically. Baron Corbin's won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and got the best of a former world heavyweight champion 3 times. So credit where credit's due. The Miz and Marisa are out next for Miz TV. Apparently, Marisa is back for good, which is all right. Personally, I don't enjoy these segments, but Cesaro comes out to stake his name and claim to the Intercontinental title. Good God, that'll be great to see. The League of Nations interrupts, and that leads to an 8-man tag team match with basically the New Day and Cesaro versus the League of Nations. This match was alright, but it had a lot of mess, really. A lot of mess and crazy random bullshit. I don't know what the hell was going on, but it was what it was. Cesaro, I must say, at various points throughout this match, man, uppercuts for days. Vince, you think he don't have it? If put it this way, if Cesaro doesn't have it, then Vince McMahon doesn't know what it is. Sorry, that's just fucking brilliant. Cesaro has to become Intercontinental or WWE World Heavyweight Champion soon. Hell, why not both? I honestly will be surprised if 2016 doesn't see Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. Well, I would say Cesaro, but Vince has hate for Cesaro. But at least Kevin Owens, it has to be Seth Rollins. And bloody hell, I did have one more in my head, but I've forgotten now. But nonetheless, it's good to see Cesaro finally getting the push. And this James Bond thing he's got going on, I don't know, that's what I'd call it now. But, I know everyone who fucking wears, shaded glasses and a suit probably seems like James Bond to me. I'm not fucking, I don't know, man. Anyway, backstage, Charlotte and Natalya are there. And I don't know, man. they just I don't know. One of them's having an interview on Saturday, and yeah, basically, Bret Hart will be in Natalya's corner at Payback, right? So we have an 8-man, 8-woman tag team match, basically. Natalya, Paige, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch versus Tamina, Summer Rae, and Charlotte and Naomi, right? I thought we were past the point of this. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good. Charlotte loses the match via a sharpshooter, but I can't help but both Sasha and Becky deserve better than this. I don't know. But it's good to see Natalya getting a chance to at least showcase her skills. Hell, I'd actually give her the title, turn her heel after about 1 month and say, no, I'm the Queen of Hearts. I've been here the longest. I'm the Queen of the Divas division. Why not? Natty is a phenomenal wrestler. It's about time she gets the belt. And Charlotte's run with the women's title, thank God, women's title, should have probably ended a month ago, or, round about a month ago at WrestleMania 32. So, you could argue that it's been all right. Tag team tournament semi-final, Raw Villains versus the Usos. You know what the hell was funny about this? I was on the phone to Long Dick Sham at the time, and he was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Why is the screen going grey? Who are these guys?" Like, I love them, man. They're like an old fucking school circus act. You know, like whenever, like, you know, the old days where, like, you know, the wrestlers used to be part of the circus. That is basically what these are, what these are like. But the fucking the Vaudevillains, I almost called them the Vaudevillains. The Vaudevillains actually win. You know, because Jey Uso, I will say this for the Usos, they sold their injuries from last week's beatdown phenomenal, but the Vaudevillains win and now will face Enzo and Cass in the finals of the tag team title tournament, right? Next, we have Apollo Crews versus Heath Slater. Now, I didn't know why this was there at the time, but apparently Apollo Crews is trying to be convinced to join the social outcast, you know, because apparently now Adam Rose is suspended. I didn't know that at the time. Apollo Crews wins. I don't see the big deal. I just see it's Lashley 2.0 who can do a crossbody, but, you know, maybe that's me being harsh on Apollo Crews. I really don't know. Um, Basically, after that, wow, it's main event time already. After that, we have Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. This was a good match, but it didn't seem to get me into it. I mean, I don't know. I honestly have very little notes on this. I don't know. You know, I remember Owens hitting a frog splash off the apron and all that fucking shit. I mean, Kevin Owens, like, in a match that, you know, you're sitting watching like 3/4 of the way asleep and more, and basically, for lack of a better word, fucked up. It's amazing that Kevin Owens can still do moves that can make you fucking, you know, remember, even like when you're basically asleep. The end, however, does come when Ambrose gets his knees up once. Kevin Owens goes for another frog splash. Ambrose hits 30 knees and gets the win. After the match, Chris Jericho hits the ring and code breakers Dean Ambrose from behind. Now, overall, look, it was an okay show, but I found myself thoroughly tempted throughout the night to look at the spoilers. I didn't. Am I glad that I didn't? I don't really care. I'm not one for spoilers anyway, but let's just put it this way. If I would have looked at the spoilers, because I actually thought about it. I thought, oh, should I look at the spoilers? But then I didn't want to miss, like, you know, the actual. I didn't want to see if there was any visuals like to be had, or, you know, any interesting segments that I thought that would like come across better on TV rather than reading it from some random spoiler section. And I like creating my own notes anyway. I obviously wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't, you know, awake to watch the show. One thing I will say, right, and two things rather, closing points basically, and that actually, hell, it might even be more than two. We'll see. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch deserve better than their current spot. I know they've just come off a big one, but you've got to find a way to get them more involved. Even if it's not with the women's title picture, you got to have them more involved, and you got to have them basically just be involved in something, not necessarily against each other, because both make it excellent faces, but, you know, you got to have them involved in something, right? Secondly, dude, if when you're not ending Raw with your champion, or at least starting it with your champion, like, you know something's wrong. Roman Reigns is a boring, dull, charismatic-less charisma-less champion. And I could, no word of a lie, I know Vince McMahon won't do it with probably 4 out of 5 of these, but I could name at least 5 WWE World Heavyweight Champions that are more viable than Roman Reigns. Starting with Cesaro, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, hell, even Chuck Bray Wyatt in there. And do you know what? I'd rather even see a 16-time title reign for John Cena before I fucking see one for Roman Reigns again. But, you know, it is what it is. Interestingly enough, right, it seems, and I don't want to jinx it, but it seems that WWE are trying to go with an AJ Styles heel turn. If they are doing that, then fair play to them for being brave. But do you say fair play to people for being stupid? I'm not sure. I'm not sure you do. It's not gonna work. Pretty much, they might do the whole thing where, oh, AJ Styles, he didn't know Bullet Club was going to attack Roman Reigns, but then 3 weeks later, after he won the title, or the Raw after he's won the title, maybe, for example, they show footage. Oh, there's Bullet Club and AJ Styles. They're discussing them attacking Roman Reigns. He knew. Shock. Or betrayal. Oh, no, wait. People love that. AJ Styles has become the biggest face in the company now because he's leading Bullet Club against Roman Reigns. Well done, WWE. Well done. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more Raw reviews next week. Until next time, this is Take a Luke. I'm out. Peace. Interestingly enough, I did want to go to this Raw. I initially even got close to getting tickets, but then I chickened out when I saw the card. A couple of back in the day, they give you a rough idea of what the card would be. And as soon as I knew that Roman Reigns, hell, as soon as I saw as far back as Survivor Series, and I saw that Triple H and Roman had their little beef going on, I knew Roman Reigns would be champion after Mania, and it wasn't for me. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out. Peace.